We're so fortunate to have Klein visiting us today, and it's our January issue of Breakout. I think it's a fitting time to connect with Klein, who may be a household term, a household name just around the corner. We're so fortunate to have you guys with us. Thank you so much. And just give us a quick introduction. I know a lot of our listeners do listen to you. We're playing Worthy One, He Is, and Here and Coming on a rotation now.
Oh, that's
But I
amazing.
know there's a
Yeah.
lot more coming around the corner. So
Yeah.
tell us
Well,
who Klein is.
well, thanks, Scott. Feel very honored to be here and included. We saw our buddy Alexander Pappas on one of your covers, and so you know he's kind of our hero from back in the
He's a
day.
great
So
guy.
we've gotten to tour with him, and so seeing him on the cover and then getting this interview or this invitation was, I felt like, oh, hey, I think we're doing all right,
That's
you know.
awesome. And
But
you
yeah, well,
are.
thanks for playing the songs. And man, we're Jacqueline and I are married. We're about to celebrate 15 years, and Derek and I are brothers. And so we're about to celebrate 34 years of being brothers. And we started all started music very very young in our homes. Our all of our parents were singers and musicians. And my mom played the radio and was very supportive of all that. And so we grew up in Southern gospel music and worship music, and then leading worship at our church. And about 11 years ago, Derek and I got a call to go play for this up and coming country artist, Dylan Scott. And we the clients live by this motto of our yes is on the table. Um, it's easier to trust God to open the doors than it is to try to figure out which doors you need to go knock down. And so we've been faithful to that motto for a really long time. So we went and jumped on the country tour, and man, over the next couple of years, it just kind of blew up, and we earned our first number one country single and platinum records, and got to do all the things and play the football stadiums and all of that. And it was a really awesome time. A lot of really great people in that camp, and some good friends and some brothers in Christ there. And which is key if you're going to be on the road, as you know,
Oh
is
yeah.
there's plenty of ways the enemy would like to break things down when you're out there and vulnerable. So we were just really fortunate to have a lot of great people around us. And all during that time, Jacqueline was just at home, and she was doing college ministry with our church, and then eventually we had babies. We have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old,
Great
and she was
ages.
raising them. Yeah, they're it's the best, man. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, we have the biggest basketball crowd at 8-year-old basketball games, and we walk in and people are like, "Who are these people?" And not because they think we're somebody. It's because we roll deep, you know. We roll
I love
deep.
it.
Yeah. And so, man, we went on the road with him, and then COVID hit as it hit. And always, we were very fortunate in our immediate family. We didn't have any serious illness or loss. We definitely did in our community, but the thing that impacted us the most was we lost our jobs. Most of our income was coming from touring,
Sure.
and we were also funding the CLINE writing and recording with our touring income.
Of
Derek and I
course.
were doing all that from our own income, and so we just kind of hit this spot of like, I don't know what we're doing. I am not the calm, cool, collected one of the group. I'm the one who's like, how are we going to pay our bills in 2029?
Sure.
It's taken
Kind
me
of
a long
hard.
time to learn daily bread, and I'm still learning that. Derek and Jacqueline are kind of just like, life is always great, and they're the life of the party, and this is all going to be great. And I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? So we literally felt like God was reassigning us, and I thought, well, I know all these people now, specifically at Curb Records where Dylan Scott was signed. And I was like, well, let's see if these guys will help us write better songs, you know? And so we didn't really have any desire to do country music as an artist, we felt called to worship ministry and Christian music, and we're still, even today. Last week we played bass and drums on a country record. It's not a it's not an anti-genre. It's just what we feel called to do with our
Sure.
voice. And so the first person I called was Mo Pitney, and he said, "Yeah, let's write." And the very first song we wrote was "Worthy One." And
That's a great music video.
oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, our church. Yeah, that was at our
Oh, is
home
that your
church.
church?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We never done anything like that at our home church, and it's not a big Nashville production
Sure.
situation where we live in Bowling Green, but we wrote that song, and then it just kind of there we were, and several people, Jonathan Mason, Trevor Mathieson, Jeff Turf over at Curb, Colt Mirsky, who was the country publisher there. They all just kept setting us up rights and just being overly generous to us. They never signed us. We never did a pub deal. They just welcomed us in their family. And so we wrote all those songs, like Hearing Coming and He Is. I think both of those songs we wrote with Michael Farron and Tony Wood. And it's like we would have never been able to meet Michael or Tony without those relationships at Curb and all those years we spent doing country music. And so we always say we came into our career from the side door. We never came down front. And, it was always kind of this:
Yeah.
how does point A get you to point B? And it's always just been this crazy road. And
So,
so,
so real quick, are you
yeah,
saying that COVID is the reason you moved to Christian music?
COVID's the reason we had space to start writing.
So
Yeah,
I guess I finally found one silver lining to COVID.
yeah, absolutely. Now
Oh,
we're still recovering financially from COVID.
yeah,
It's
of course.
there. It is a very small silver lining, but literally jarring moment of getting us off the road, and we stopped doing. Dee and I were doing 180 shows a year, I
Oh
think.
my gosh.
Yeah, so there was no space, but we always had this vision and dream. We just didn't know how we were going to get there, and COVID hit. So we just wrote and recorded for a year and a half. Well, then we went back to the Dylan Scott tour in the fall of 21, and we did a Luke Bryan tour. And I'm going to tell you this part because of your history with Third Day. So we
Okay.
did the Luke Bryan tour. We get out there, and we become buddies with Scotty Wilbanks. And so
Scotty Wilbanks.
Scotty Wilbanks is on the road to Luke Bryan, and he's like, he calls us kids, and he's like, "Well, what are y'all kids doing?" I was like, "Well, I think we're gonna jump ship. I think we're gonna go do this Christian thing." He's like, "I don't know, man. That's tough," and blah blah blah. And I was like, "Well, Scotty, you don't know what you're talking about. You're old and decrepit." But he did introduce us to Cam Pumphrey, who then introduced us to Lot Schutte.
No kidding.
And so by touring with Luke Bryan, we met the people that were going to make this possible for us. And if that ain't a God thing
Of
going,
course,
you
I
can't
love
make
it.
your own, you can plan your ways, but God establishes the steps. And so we met Lot. Shortly after that, we decided to come off the road with Dylan. And that was a really hard transition, just relationally and financially. And, that was one of the first big, humongous steps of faith we had to take. And it wasn't long after that, Lot had us on the road. We did about 80 shows in 2024, getting on the road, and we started releasing music. And then this past year, we did about 85, and Lot linked us up with Rhett Walker. So we got to tour most of the year with him, which I know you're passionate about independent music. As an independent artist with no label support, no booking agent, no nothing, we weren't even paying Lot. He wouldn't even take a percentage from, the $10 we would make. And we did get to pay him a little bit for the first time last month. That's how long
Great.
he's been in this with us, and that felt really cool for us to get to do that. And but he got us on the road with Rhett Walker. and just here we are with no agent, no no booking, no label, no radio team, and you're playing our songs, and we're on the road with Rhett Walker. And somebody please tell me how all this happens.
Isn't that
Um,
great?
yeah, it's
And Rhett's
unbelievable.
great
So,
too.
oh, he's unbelievable. He
Yeah,
he just like actually loves Jesus,
yeah,
and we've learned a lot from him um, on putting. It's okay to put your family first. You know, if you grow up around Nashville, you kind of get sucked into the machine at some point in your life of going, well, I have to go try to make something happen for myself, or I have to go, knock down these doors. And Rhett's been very refreshing on just like, hey, whatever God puts in your hands, just do that. Um, and sometimes it's a little bitty country church, and sometimes it's Kingdom Bound Festival or whatever, But it's just cool to get linked up with like minded people like that who have
yeah.
really, in our eyes, made it. They've done it. They've had the hits. They've had the success. He's feeding his family from getting to do music. I think that's a pretty cool win. Um, but man, we just I told you what we do. Who we are is we love Jesus and we love people, and the gift He's given us is music. That's the avenue He's given us to work in. There's a lot of things I wish I could do, but man, I'm a bass player, and you know, Jacqueline's really talented. She's a singer, and if when you meet Derek, you'll know, man, he's a drummer, and he's turned down a lot of things that are really big and sexy to play little churches because this is what God has called us to do and who He's called us to be, and we really believe that it's been an emotional week for me. I'm sorry. That if you really just say yes to God, like really, not, well, I'm going to do Christian music because I'm a Christian. And I
Hmm.
mean, like, you surrender your life to Him, and you really, really, really don't need to be rich, and you really, really, really don't need fame, and you really, really don't need fortune. God will put you in situations to minister that will bless you more than you could ever bless someone else. And we
And
have
you'll be,
experienced that over and over and over the past 24 months.
uh, man, you're touching my heart. I can tell you are richer in so many ways than so many people. And
Mm,
that's the wealth we all really want, isn't it?
yep, that's right.
I was reading about you guys in preparation for this, and I read someone talking about you that said Klein reflects the new trend that Christian music is increasingly turning toward raw expression
Hmm.
rather than a formula, which I've
Wow.
always rebelled against the Nashville formula. But
Yeah.
how does that resonate with you? Is that accurate? And tell me how you feel about that.
It's accidentally accurate, and I've never read that. I can't believe somebody said that about us. Thanks
Mm,
for sharing that. Um, I think I think that is accurate. We, I've talked with a lot of people. I'm 36 years old, which is ancient in record label talk. And I think if we had the opportunity to do the music we're doing now at 18,
mm,
I don't know that that would be true of us because all we knew then was to have the dream. Now we have the dream and a vision, which is different, and we really don't care what anybody thinks about it. And so when I'll tell you their names when we're off camera. Um, but when people said no to us, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years ago, when we first started like kind of pitching songs and being like, hey, here's our project. And somebody told us Here and Coming there wasn't anything special about it or whatever, you know, we were able to go, oh, you just aren't on our team. We didn't go, oh, well, we don't get to do music because the gatekeeper said no.
yeah, good
What
for
we
you.
did, yeah, what we did was go, okay, um, what did, exactly, what did you say? You can't say hold my beer, but you can say hold my Mountain Dew. And, and when I got the opportunity to go on the road with Rhett Walker, we had a little moment in the set every night where we just kind of got to introduce ourselves and all talk. We even gave Derek a microphone, and that was a good
The
time.
drummer got a microphone. What do
Drummer
you
got a
know?
microphone, and, and here's what I told him. I said,
Oh yeah, never again will that happen.
"Well, I'll tell you." I said this, and I meant it. I said we went to Nashville, and they said, uh, you know, the booking agents didn't want to sign us, except for one, and that agency blew up 1 month after we started talking to them. So I guess it wasn't meant to be. They literally closed the door on us. I said, we didn't get a record deal. We didn't get a signing. Air One wouldn't play Worthy One. And here we are on the road with Rhett Walker in front of you tonight. Rhett said, hold my Mountain Dew. The Cline's got something special. I'm taking them with them, And,
Nice.
and I think it's just that, there's an authenticity that we were discipled by in our home church, and none of the 80 churches, whatever we played this week or this year,
Wow. Yeah.
no, yeah, they don't know our lead pastor, but the discipleship we've experienced from growing up here and seeing a real Jesus, not a show, not a production, doing life with real people who have real struggles, who've lost real babies, who've
Yeah.
buried their parents this year. One of our good friends yesterday was a year since they buried their 2-year old,
Oh,
and I don't think people, I don't think the, I'll call them Christian music fans, maybe for lack of a better term. I think Christians are done with the bullcrap. I don't think they need any more sexy, flared up fluff. I think I think what they want is something real, and so we're willing to be that. And it's not, we didn't decide that one day. We were discipled to be that way, and that's a testament to our parents and our church and our pastor. Um, but I think it's really accurate, and I think that's why. Speaking of our friend Rhett Walker, I think that's why he connects with people is because I've never met a person that's more the same on the platform than he is off. I've never in my life. I worked with a lot of people. Worked with a lot of great people, but I've never met someone that is so genuinely them on the bus, backstage, at their home, on stage.
He's the same on the bus in the morning.
Yeah,
That's the big tell. In the morning when you get up,
yeah.
yeah.
When you first wake up,
as he is at 8 o'clock on stage.
that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
That's the bus tells you so much about an artist,
Hmm.
and it's hard to explain that to someone who's never experienced it.
Hmm.
Um, you've answered so many of my questions already, and again, your heart is touching my heart. And I can't wait to see you guys live. I've not seen you live. Uh,
Oh yeah,
what's
I'd
your
love to
tour
make that
plans?
happen.
I'd love to. So it's now 2026. We have a new year. What's your plans for this year? What do we have in store with Klein?
Well, we'll see. We through the blessing of our pastor, our church put together a way for us to not have staff responsibilities for the first time ever. And
Wow.
so we are pedal to the metal clown music this year. Um, Immediately, what we're doing is we got 3 more songs coming out. Um, my favorite one is probably the one coming out in January. We wrote with our friend David Leonard, and I'm sure you know him.
David is
Uh,
awesome.
Fantastic writer and human, and it's called All of My Life, just a song about God's faithfulness. And at the completion of those 3 songs, March, February, or January, February, March, we'll release our entire album. So we got 10 songs on that record.
Nice.
He is on that record,
Yep.
and so we're excited about that coming out. Then there's talks of tour plans in the spring that when the tickets go on sale, that's when I get comfortable with announcing that. So there's talks of that, and we're definitely doing some events that I'm really excited about with the church will sing, and so we're putting together. We're kind of in this. I don't know. We're kind of in the. We're not on ground zero, but we're in the middle stages of that. So hopefully by the end of February, we'll be doing kind of some 1-day conferences kind of thing. Taking the big worship conference to a local church, and just hopefully blessing them, supporting them, and one thing that's so great about Derek is he's so technically savvy. He's ran arena tours with a little computer in Ableton, and so he's got some skill sets that maybe you wouldn't know about just when we're leading
Unfortunately,
worship.
yeah,
But he's really able to help local worship pastors who maybe don't have the resources to go hire a great tech guy. And so
yeah, yeah.
we just really want to take that part of our ministry on the road. And so we're going to do that with the church will sing, and some rotate some of the artists that are featured on those records through that. So I'm really excited about that. And then we also, one thing we're starting this year that we've never done before is we have a nonprofit organization called Good News People Music. And kind of our dream behind that is to remove the financial and
Hmm.
record label barrier for singers and songwriters and artists, so that they don't have to go through the 11 years of grind that we've had to go through to get to this point. Like once we identify someone has a gift of writing worship music, we want to help them write and release that music, and train them up and kind of show them the ways to go, while protecting them from the wolves of the music industry. And very
Oh yeah,
similarly, what Lot has done for us in our 30s, you know, he's really protected us from a lot of situations, and feel like we've always been protected from things, but we want to kind of pay that forward. And so we're hoping to raise a bunch of money this year to do that. We just want people to be able to make records without going in debt, without depending on a wealthy mother or father. Not everybody has a wealthy mother or father.
And giving people space to write songs.
Mhm.
It's really tough to work a 60-hour any job, especially church. Still trying to grind and
yeah. It's so
hopefully we
true.
can open doors for some folks.
Mhm.
For some young up.
Yeah, and we want to do it with no strings attached. If we have big, 15-page long publishing deals that where you just owe us the rest of your life,
Yeah,
we're no different than any label on Music Row. We want to be different, and there's some
well, good for
companies
you.
doing that now. You know, a guy that's been a good voice of reason for us is Josh Bailey, who was at Capitol Records for a long time, and he launched for King and Country when he was at Word. He's had a lot of success, but they're going. They started a new company, and they're going. Let's rethink how we do this. Let's do music in a way that Jesus wouldn't come flip all our tables over. You know, and
Good
so
word.
we're not reinventing the wheel, but we do think we could do it on a acute level that there really can be some depth to. We might not have 100 writers, but we could probably have three, and maybe we can really do something special with that. So we're
I want to
we're
learn more about
that's
that.
launching. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd love to learn more about that.
yeah.
Uh, Last question. Any plans for Canada?
Well, I'll tell you what, Scott. Uh, Lot Shooty.
So let's
You're
talk.
you. So you talked a lot, and we will come to Canada. I love Canada.
We love
Have you
Canada.
played
We've played
Canada?
several times in Canada.
Can I
Yeah,
tell a funny Canadian story
Yeah, absolutely.
real quick? This is
sounds.
Scott. This is going to hopefully crack you up. I'm gonna tell him about this. So Garrett and I have been fortunate enough to travel to Canada when we were playing with Dylan Scott. Uh, been whatever, and
Hey, would you lean forward? You cut out when you lean back. Yeah.
in Buffalo, at the church was saying it. So yeah,
I don't know why, but the microphone just cut out.
Oh, okay. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you fine, Garrett. I cannot hear
Okay.
Dylan.
oh,
Well, this
Are you gonna put this one on?
That
Put
one
them
might
both
have
on.
turned off.
Put them both.
Okay, now tell us the story.
Can you hear me good now? Sorry,
Perfect. It's perfect.
I'm gonna roll back a little bit.
Yeah, please
Garrett and I
do.
have been fortunate enough to get to play in Canada a ton throughout our years with Dylan, and
Jack had never
and
been.
actually just I was over there too
Yeah.
earlier this year. Jack has never been. We were in Buffalo, New York, playing at Kingdom Bound Festival
Yep.
as the church will sing. So it was us, Lloyd Nix, Robbie, our buddy Robbie Busick, Carly Ann Taylor, and Jonathan Mason, who is kind of like he's the head dreamer of the church will sing, and he's at Curb Records. So what is he?
I don't know.
He calls himself important record agent. No, I'm kidding. We love Jonathan. So Jonathan always takes really good care of us if we go and do, if we go do something that's what the church will sing. It's connected to Curb Records. He just always takes us to a nice dinner, or makes sure we're, just really
Good.
sweet. Seriously, serves us well. And we flew in the night before Kingdom Bound, and we were like, hey, let's just go have a nice dinner. It's us three, Robbie Busick and Jonathan. And Johnson's like, man, that sounds great. Let's go. You guys pick. And if you've ever been married before around a woman, you know that they don't care, but they care. I'm not pointing anybody out. So Jack's immediate, Jack's immediate. I'm glad you can't hear what we're saying right now. No, I'm kidding. Her immediate thing is like, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. And so Robbie somehow gets down to Robbie's picking the place. Robbie finds a cool steakhouse. He's like, "Oh, this is cool. It's got a view of Niagara Falls.
Can't beat
Man,
that.
can't beat that. Awesome, great." We start driving. We're just following the maps.
Oh
Well,
no.
we get to the border.
Of course, I
We
see
get
it
we got
coming.
on we get on one of those, where you get and you can't turn around.
Can't turn around.
Well, none of us have our passports
Of
with
course.
us. And we're like, oh shoot, okay, what are we gonna do? Well, we get up, and I'm thankful for where I was born. The United States has been pretty okay to me. I think taxes could be less, but that's another story for another day. Canadians are the best people. I mean, the nicest people, the best people. They always and it's almost like sometimes I think they might mean it as a slap in the face, but they're always just like, I'm so sorry that you're from the United States. And it's so nice. And I'm like, I am too, you know? No. So we get up to the border patrol, and the lady working is so nice, as it always is. And we're like, hey, we made a mistake. We're not from here, obviously. We explained what was going on, and she's like, "Oh, do you guys all have real ID? You're familiar with what real ID
Yep.
is. You have to have it
Yep.
to fly in the States now." Uh, and she's like, y'all are fine. Go eat. They'll let you back in. It's no problem.
Really?
Well, we're like, really? Okay. So we go eat.
We start doing some
What? That's what I'm
digging.
saying. Dinner's great. Well, then we start doing some digging. And it's like, yeah, there's no way you're getting back into the United States, basically. Well,
Like, you're not going to prison.
Lloyd Nix's manager is because Garrett and I were helping. We were playing with Lloyd the next day too. He was doing a different slot, and so since we were already there, and Lloyd's a buddy of ours, so we were going to play with him. And Damien, his manager, is freaking out on the phone with us. He's like, guys, you are not getting back in. Like, this is not good. This is not good. Apparently, he had some experience with it before. So, yeah, several times.
Yeah.
And so we eat this nice steak, but we're all this nervous. This completely nervous. Beautiful view. Anyway, long story long. We get back. The United States Patrol guy luckily ends up being cool. And he's just like, he made fun of us big time.
I
And he
bet he
was like,
did.
hey, don't ever do this again. And so he let us back in. All we had to do is go, hey, do you have a passport? Do you own a passport? Yes.
Wow.
And they let us back in. So that was Jack's first experience
Oh,
across
gee.
Come back.
across the
Yeah.
Canadian border. So saying all that, we would love to actually
Let's
properly come back.
let's do it right.
Let's do it
do it
right
right.
this time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass
Oh
it back
my
to
gosh.
Garrett.
Uh, well, was the steak good? Was the steak good?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Oh, good, good.
It
Well,
was
at
a great
least you
steak,
had a
and
good
it
meal.
was and Jonathan bought our dinner, so it was great.
Well, listen, this has been just such a treat. I know our listeners are going to see this as who are these guys? And I've got to listen to them yesterday. So thanks for taking the time. It's a delight. And one of my personal New Year's resolutions is to see you guys live in
Oh, I
2026.
love it. Let's
So
make that
let's
happen.
let's do
Let's
it.
make that happen. Thank you. Hey, thank you for what you do. We love the station. I got the app on my phone. I just
Awesome.
think it's awesome that you champion people like us. I
It's
think that's
time.
really cool.
It's about
Yeah.
time. Okay, blessings. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Doggone, you guys are the best. I need to hang
Oh,
out with
you're
you
the best.
sometime. Yeah, this
Yeah,
has
this
been
has been
great.
great.
Yeah, you're awesome. You're a
So,
great interviewer.
Yes.
we're just
Make it
we're not
easy.
We're
even
not even
interviewing. We're
interviewing.
just
We're just
hanging out.
hanging out.
I love it. That's the best kind.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you're
you're
what
what
God's done
God's
in
done
your
in your
hearts,
hearts,
and
and
for
for
people,
people,
you're my
you're my
hero.
hero.
So just
So
keep
just
it
Oh,
keep
up
it
and be
up and be
encouraged.
encouraged.
well,
Thank you.
we need champions like you, man.
Yep.
It's this kind of stuff blows the wind in the sails, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The nights are I don't sleep much at night sometimes trying to go, okay, God, what do you want us to do? Are we doing the
Yeah.
right thing? You know, and honestly, doing things like this makes us go, okay, we're keep going, you know.